Okay, I'd like to call this meeting order. Please rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor, it's an honor and a privilege to sit here with you at
62nd.
It's an honor and a privilege.
But you know, people
And
don't,
thank you.
they don't appreciate the effort.
I do, because they don't.
I appreciate it. Makes me feel
Makes you feel-
You appreciate the effort that you
All
put
right,
in.
yeah, thanks.
I need a cocktail.
All right, a roll call, please.
Mr. Kapanis?
Here.
Ms. Passio?
Here.
Ms. Kelly?
Here.
Mr. Farrell?
He's excused. It's his anniversary.
Mr. Lobenstein?
Here.
Mr. Shapiro?
Here.
Mr. Murray?
Here.
Mr. Long?
Here.
Mr. Basler?
Here.
Ms. Straley?
Here.
And Mr. Wozok.
And Mr. Wozok.
Oh, jeez.
Thank you.
He was hoping to.
Thank you.
Public notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act has been given by the clerk in the following manner. One, posted on the bulletin board in the Borough Clerk's office on January 5th, 2024, and two, emailed to the retrospective Curb Post on January 5th, 2024. New business for this evening is a public hearing on ordinance 2401 to extend the municipal budget appropriations and establish a cap bank. Shelley, you just want to explain that to everyone again? Just make sure they all know.
Eleanor, you
Mike.
want to explain that?
Oh, did you take the class?
I did, I took the class.
Did you go
But I'll
to the-
defer to the professional.
Okay. Oh, you all went to the class? That's great.
Smart. That's probably what they tell you at the class.
Microphone.
Should it work?
Really? Is it turned on? Turn green?
Is it green?
You gotta hold it in.
There you go. Explain the municipal budget appropriations as opposed to revenue.
Yes. So every year we adopt an ordinance to exceed the budget appropriations. It's a cost of living adjustment. It also allows us to establish a cap bank so that we can bank any appropriations that we did not use in the prior years. That way, if we need them, we can use them in our current year budget.
So give an example.
Give an example. Say we did not use $20,000 in
Landfill fees.
landfill fees, which is highly unlikely, but let's pretend that we did not.
Percentage, yes.
That would get banked, and we would be able to put that into our current year budget should we need to
Okay.
following year.
It's always good class. Bellman does a nice job.
Excellent, excellent.
Now, also the cap bank, how I understand it, is if we don't raise taxes. Is that also correct, or am I misunderstanding?
Yes. Yes, we have a levy cap bank and we have an appropriations cap bank.
All right. So we're going to do this at the next meeting, correct? Is that first reading, or is it?
It's the public hearing.
Oh, it's a public hearing, so it's final reading, okay. Used car lot applications for approval, Auto Place on 349 East Clemensbridge Road, Toyota at 99 South Black Horse Pike, and Belmar Collision at 60 West Clemensbridge Road. Is anybody missing on that list?
That's all we've gotten so far.
That's all we've got so far. And so typically, the clerk will say that all paperwork's in order.
All paperwork.
It's just, we're not doing it, Steve, right? We're going to do it at next meeting.
Yeah. If I can give you an address on the auto place,
Yes.
he's storing vehicles across the street at the Mexican place and also on VFW.
Well, this is 349 East Clemensbridge Road.
Oh, that's Charlie's?
Charlie's.
Okay. So just gotta make sure the one that comes in for 6th Avenue.
Yeah, so just more than likely, I did speak to that gentleman. He's going to either purchase or rent that property across the street. It actually is a permitted use to extend an existing one. If you remember what we did with Toyota, when Toyota bought TD Bank, it's a permitted use to make a business bigger. We can't create a new business, but you're allowed to make a business bigger. And in Runnemede, we actually allowed, way before us, when Chevrolet used to have one lot on one side of the street and one lot on the other. So the ordinance does allow for that because of the nature of the Black Horse
Make it
Pike.
bigger, even though it's not connecting.
You can make it bigger as long as that, but there are some rules. You have to have an office on both sides. So I guess Chevrolet must have had an office on both. You remember that, Dan?
Yeah, I don't recall them all.
Yeah, so there has to be, so there's some rules, but I think that gentleman is gonna look at it, and that would be a code enforcement issue at this point. But I believe he intends to come in. Safe and Secure grant for 11/10 to 23 to 2024. This goes back to the 90s. This gives us approximately $37,000. We're down to 21. That's all. And that's supposed to pay for 2 police officers, $21,000. Release of funds for Wawa's escrow balance. They obviously didn't use all the money. Is this Buck here? Buck didn't take all the money. Toyota performance guarantee, full extension of the temporary budget. If anybody wants to stop me on any of these, sick time payout, that's something I added on this evening. So one of the things we have to be aware of is that when the citizens of this borough decided to become a civil service town, against my wishes, I didn't want to there are certain rules. Civil service allows for employees to carry sick time on forever. If they don't use it, it doesn't expire, they can carry it. It's not a terrible thing. The problem is that the state has been cracking down on abusive sick time. So the state's policy is when someone goes to retire, a municipality can adopt a rule which allows for an employee to sell that unused time back to the municipality, but at one time only, at the time of retirement, with a cap of $15,000. And the reason I bring this up is because we do have employees that have been here a very long time, and they don't abuse their sick time, and I believe that to avoid any potential fighting at the end, I mean, to put it bluntly, I think we ought to establish a rule that matches the state's rule. Does the county do something similar? Rich, are you aware of the county?
Depends on who you work for. Like my office, we don't buy out sick time at all anymore.
Okay.
It used to be a cap of 18,000, but they took that rule off maybe about 10 years ago. So at the end, you use it or you lose it, or you can give it to, there is
A bank, a sick
a
bank.
bank where
Yeah.
somebody gets sick. they can-
So it is interesting. So what the clerk did for us is she sent out an email to other clerks in the county and tried to get some feedback on how different towns do it. So to give you some examples, Cherry Hill, the largest community in our county, does not buy sick time. Collingswood has a policy for certain employees, but not for others. Ironically, the one that I sort of like is Camden's. And Camden, I think, did a pretty good job with it. I think there's only maybe a few caveats, but it really comes down to pretty simply, upon retirement, and if anyone is entitled to a 50% of unused sick time as an additional severance package, of unused sick time at the time with a maximum of $15,000. So it's not worded exactly because it's talking about a certain department, but I think that should be the idea, that if someone accumulated over a lifetime, that. Now, why would I say 50%? Because it's sort of an annuity. You might get a sick time when you're making $10 an hour, and you go to retire and you're making $50 an hour. So that value increases dramatically. We're going to have to budget for it. Now, one thing, if you look at our current budget, it does. There's a page in our budget, in our audit, and in our budget, I believe, that multiplies all of the sick time and vacation time that everybody has, and it's considered a liability. So the hypothetical is, Runnemede disappears, what would you have to do? You'd have to pay everybody what you owe them, if they've accumulated or are entitled to a certain amount of time. In the past, we used to use the term terminal leave, where we could do that. The state's cracking down on terminal leave. The Borough of Runnemede, in the history of this community, has never paid for sick time as a buyout or something like that. So this would be different. We'd have to plan for it, we'd have to pay for it, but I think it's something that, I'll tell you what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of sick time at the end of someone's career becoming an issue where they're using sick time almost as vacation time because of that use it or lose it mentality. Sick time is for being sick, but if someone uses sick time to take a day off, I don't, that's harder, but if someone starts taking weeks or months off, that can hurt a department, a police department, a fire department, even the front office. Those kind of things can really hamstring a small community like ours. So My experience in my own company is I actually do what the state no longer allows. I pay my employees at the end of the year for any time not used, because I need them working. So I budget differently. Shelley, we do not budget for sick time. So I budget for my employees to cash in their time. And that's illegal now. We're not allowed to do that, but we are allowed to do it at the time of retirement.
Mayor, to be clear,
Yeah.
It's legal for you.
Yes.
Yes.
Mrs. Kelly, you're on top of things.
Make sure you
tonight.
distinguish me as two different people.
Yeah.
Aren't you?
Sign pros.
Yeah.
Sign pros is permitted, the Borough of Runnemede.
Sign pros is permitted. The Borough of Runnemede is not permitted. But the Borough of Runnemede is permitted to pay up to $15,000. And I think we really ought to do it. But I know I haven't talked a whole lot about this with everybody. I think maybe Dan and I spoke a little bit about it, but I don't know if we spoke, because we have some retirements coming up. And I just don't think it's fair for the new employees coming in that the person's not there. And not that we've had abuse, don't get me wrong, we've really not. We've never, only on a few occasions has there been maybe some issues where sick time hurt a department. But even that was minimal. I mean, I could bring up maybe 10 years ago was the last time we had maybe what I would consider a sick time abuse, where someone took the sick time in excess of what I thought was fair, right before retirement. And in my normal nature, I wanted to do something about it, but then I didn't, because I was convinced that it was better to kind of let somebody go smoothly and not do that. So what I'd like to do is maybe do a little work on language, because some of the things that I would like to put in here is that, you know, the town needs to be notified, because we have the budget for it. You know, even though Shelley knows we have this liability, we don't write a check. This would be writing a check that we'd have to have funds available. We have a couple retirements coming up this year, and I think we have to be aware of that. The second thing I thought about was, you know...
Are you still contemplating the 50%?
Absolutely. Only because, do the math. Someone who's been here for, I'm going to pick on someone, who's been here for 35 years.
I think it's...
Someone who's been here for 35 years.
It's fair.
Yeah. So now, the other thing I think I would like to put in there, and I know it's kind of given in the statute, but I'd like to put it in our ordinance where it is based upon continued employment. So think about someone who, at the beginning of a year, is entitled to 21 sick days. They retire on the 2nd. They don't get those 21 days. They're prorated, correct?
Correct.
But I would maybe want to reiterate this in the policy. So someone knows that if they leave in June, they're only going to get half of their year, as opposed to there. Now, that cuts a little bit. So you say, well, what if somebody uses all 21 days before the 6-month period? Well, I hate to say they owe us 10 and a half days. And we did have that happen not too long ago, where we had somebody leave a department and owed us time back. You know, so this can happen if someone leaves. It was a transfer where someone transferred in mid-year, and we had to do that. I mean, is there any feedback? I mean, Dan, what's your experience?
I like the 50%, and I like the cap.
Daniel learned that Eleanor just jumped in.
Yeah, I just noticed. I thought you changed your name, Mrs. Kelly. I'm sorry.
We had a good time last night.
Good, I'm glad.
I made the meeting very interesting.
I'm sure you did.
Sure you did.
I'm sure they were happy.
Was there a sergeant of arms to keep you under control?
No attorney at that one,
And
right?
that's strictly for retirements, not for separation.
So the law is very specific. It can only be paid upon retirement, correct? Yeah, I mean, this is something it's out there with the state, some county employees.
Yeah, it's been a rule for a while, even with county where they didn't have it, it was half. People would say, go to $30, and they knew when they retired, they would get a check for $80.
So they knew that, yeah.
They knew, the employee knew that, but they took that away legally years ago, so.
Really?
And the bad thing with that is that that's when you start seeing more abuse, because you had people, when they took that rule away, it didn't matter, they didn't grandfather it at all, so it started right there that day. So you had people that were banking on retiring and having that money before they retired for the next 5-10 years, and they had like over 400 days of sick time.
They started banging,
They started banging, how can you tell them, hold up, they don't want to give you that money, but you just.
And you don't want to go after anybody, and I don't want to go after anybody.
Right, so I mean, it's a slippery slope, you know, when you initiate something like that, because you have some of the older guys that have been there for a while, and you have that policy, you kind of bank on it a little bit. close to retirement.
Yeah. A lot of the schools, yeah, agreed. And you had a lot of guys run out when they changed the rules back in, I believe it was 13. The guys that work here and are in the borough have left the sheriff's department because they're going to lose, maybe
Yes.
$100,000 of banked sick time. So
Yeah.
they just retired.
Yeah.
Do we have any idea like what our numbers are, where it's at?
So that's where it gets a little tricky on the finance side, is because we don't have set times where people are going to retire. Shelley can run a basic number that shows the borough is $200,000 in liability, right? It's a number it's a big number, isn't it? But it's, once again, not everybody's leaving at one time. The only thing we could possibly do in this ordinance, and I thought about this a little bit, we can put it, we could almost say, it's almost an initiative for someone to give us notice early.
Right.
If someone knows most people know when they're going to retire. They don't always send letters in a timely fashion, and they should be penalized for not sending letters in a timely fashion.
No.
I'm not talking about anybody.
Right.
And, but that to me, so you could budget, that's what your question is.
Yes.
If we knew that 2 people were leaving and we needed to come up with $30,000, where are we taking it from? Clerk salary and wage, that's the, that department. But you're 100% right. So one of the things I thought about was maybe you tell me, 3 months, 6 months, when do people know they're going to retire? I think they know at least 6 months in advance, at least 6
Well,
months.
my wife will retire in a couple of years, and Joe.
So she's already planned it 2 years out.
Joe is school district, so it's 6 months. She has 326 sick days built up, but she is going to fall 1 year short of being able to get any money of the sick days. It's just
So the school district got rid of it.
in their contracts, the school district has said you have to be there a certain amount of years, and she will not be at the school district enough to get the sick time.
Well, so what I'm hearing is most towns are getting away from it, and I'm trying to actually give something that everyone else is getting rid of. Am I wrong on this? I'm only looking at our town and seeing the dynamics we have here. I mean, the county got rid of it, the school district got rid of it. I heard the Cherry Hill the largest, but I think, at least when I'm looking at it, I thought it's a benefit. Because we're so small that if one employee doesn't show up to work, you may not be able to open a department. Now, I can say this. We can always put, and tell me if I'm wrong, Solicitor, Council, it's only a policy, so we can change it if it's abused. So if I'm wrong and our successors come in and say this is being abused, we're going to get rid of that ordinance. It sounds like because it's not negotiated. Or am I going to get caught with this one-way door scenario?
That's something you can revisit.
Okay.
Let's put it this way, it's a bigger pain to change it than it is to implement it like we are right now. But
Because-
it's certainly possible.
Why would it be, council could just rescind an ordinance. Why would it be a problem? Because it would affect people
Well,
differently?
yeah, I'm talking about in terms of logistics and in terms of the people aspect of it. From a pure, what council can do, they can rescind it. I'm saying there will be more resistance than implementing it to do.
And because it's non-negotiable,
Correct.
we're not negotiating it, we can give it a take or adjust in the future. So that's it, ironically, I'm for this, but that's why we talk.
What do we do now?
Well, what we've done,
No, what is our policy now?
well, our policy right now is we do not pay for sick time.
So why are you changing it?
Because what I just said, I think that people have banked it. There was a few instances where when people went to retire, they used sick time a little abusively. Then to
We
abuse,
figured that in.
but then what we started to do was we allowed people to use some of that time to kind of, work things out. And there wasn't anything against the law to do that. Council was allowed to allow people to use their time, comp time, vacation time. It's called paid time off. We could decide with that. I'm now saying that we got a letter from the comptroller basically saying, not yelling at us, but there are towns out there that have contracts that are breaking the law, where employees were literally every year cashing in their time. That's absolutely against the law. They were getting, payouts. So if you read Collingswood, which I didn't bring, Collingswood did a grandfather clause where they allowed some people who had previously were entitled to it, they were allowed to continue to do that. But anybody hired after a period of time, they basically said, it's illegal, we're not allowed to do payouts anymore. Because their contracts conflicted with it. The contracts conflicted with the law.
Mrs. Kelly, if we don't do that, and someone does have a lot of sick time, they can just start claiming their sick time, and we don't have coverage at that point.
And we've had that happen.
Yeah.
To
So
an
that's
extent.
why,
I
that's
mean, I
why,
know that for a fact.
I know, that's why he wants to do it.
Yeah. But it's never been terrible, but I'm trying to avoid it. You know? We don't have to make a decision tonight, because nobody's retiring in the next week or something like that. But
6 months.
You know, there are people retiring in the next 6 months.
Well,
And the next, you know, things like that. But it's something to think about and try to get done. Because here's what I'm going to tell everybody in the audience. If somebody starts to abuse sick time, I don't care if I'm their friend for 35 years, I'm not going to allow that again. I made that mistake in the past, and I'm not going to do that again. If somebody abuses it, in the contracts, it basically says I'm allowed to have our doctor look at you, you know what I mean, send them to, well, you know that, it's all in the contract. It's very, very specific what we can do. But who wants to do
Why don't you
that?
have
I don't want to
some-
do that.
You know what, let's look at a draft of what you're thinking.
Okay.
Because there's so many sketchy little points here. And I'd like to see it
Okay.
in something more of a form.
Okay. Everybody agree with that?
Especially like how much notice they have to give.
Okay.
You know,
yeah, we got it.
yeah.
Well,
Hey, what do you think, Rich? Why did the county get away from it?
You know what, I have no idea why they got away with it. It was something.
Away from it.
Away from it because I think they were using a lot of people were banking at 18,000. And I think 1 year, a lot of people retired at the same time. They gave a package away. I'm talking about maybe 15 years ago. And they gave a package away where they can retire, you know, now instead of 5 years from now.
Oh, so they did an incentive. That's illegal now also.
You're right, but at that time, and then the majority of those people had saved their.
So that was a way to,
Right, and what they did, they grandfathered a little bit, if you were a certain amount of time, but it was just true. If for new employees, if they set it up this way, they're used to it, they know how to adjust it.
do you think people who don't have an ability to sell their time back use their time up before they retire?
Yeah.
They try
They
very
do,
hard.
They do, because if you come into a situation, for example, you get 15 days, 6 days a year, you know, and usually you'll use about 5 to 8, 5 to 10 a year. You know, you never know if you have kids, you can, look, I'll stay home, you go to work, things like that. So they'll just for, right, you know, carry over not as many, but if you build it up, they'll build up their time.
And I think a lot of people know, they may not want to tell you, but they know 3 to 5 years out when they retire. If they're situated to retire, so you can burn that time off.
My wife is
You never,
20
you never
years
get in trouble.
Yeah, because you're burning it
You can
small.
burn it just in little bits
Yeah.
and pieces,
Little
so.
bits and that's
this
what
way
I-
at least it puts a little bit of control in it.
Yeah, a little bit,
Yeah.
you know. And remember, we're such a small borough, it's not a huge number and things like that. I don't believe it's a huge number. Okay? All right, we'll work on a draft.
Thank you.
Shared service agreement with Magnolia for Harry. He continue to do both Public Works in Runnemede and also Public Works in Magnolia. What changed? Did the hours change?
Yes.
What are the hours?
Went from 40 to 30. For the
So-
month, and not tying to any means.
So 40 a month versus 30 a month?
Went from 40 to 30, reduced.
Okay, from 40 hours a month to 30 hours a month. Okay, so, you know, Harry would be here an extra 10 hours
That's good, that's good.
a month.
That's all good.
I thought it was 15.
Did you print out the proposals?
You mean the, yeah, here.
I mean, I thought I think I asked because I can't remember. So, Mr. Bach's office sent over proposals. Did everybody get a chance to look at them? I think some of them, I think all of them we have to do, correct? Because we've already got money from the DOT, the CDBG. The only one that was up in the air, well, let's do the first one. Which one do you want to do first?
No order.
32?
CDBG,
All right, see, what is that?
2023, grant
CDBG, okay, I'm sorry. All right, she's got it in, I'm looking at the resolutions.
Here are my notes. Sorry.
Okay, I think we should do these resolutions. Do you need these resolutions tonight? You're okay next week? Okay, so the estimated cost for Second Avenue and Fourth Avenue is $275,900, with a total budget cost of $331,700, which is short $6,700. First, we'll go to the finance. Can you certify we have the $6,700? Does anybody have any problem with the extra $6,700 to complete the job? Okay, so we'll do that at the next meeting. DOT estimated was 249,552, a shortfall of 11,000. Oh,
DOT allows you to use up to 5% of construction. So the first one uses that feature, so that's what it really costs, only $11,200. The option 2 is you're only going to, you're going to pay for design on your own, not use DOT funds. So you can get more construction done, but it's going to cost the borough more money.
so what does the finance department say?
And say that you want more construction done and
Okay, does everybody understand that?
Yeah,
So rather than, so that is for what roads?
Mitchell.
It's William, Sharon, and Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Oh.
We have that engineering committee meeting because we have requested $1 million and we got $300,000. So we have to come up with what we want.
Well, just don't do it in front of Bob's house. That's it.
That's one.
Can you say just kidding, please?
We're looking at that because of saturation gas.
Thank you.
Isn't that part of the
What's the gas lines?
saturation?
I think the gas lines are not in the street. I don't think the gas lines are in the street in Sherrington.
Did they come in, Sharon?
I thought they already did.
Okay.
No?
I thought that was on part of it when we met. We'll have to
Yeah,
look at that.
We're still waiting on that. South Jersey Gas has to submit a plan to us for what they did. So we'll look at that, we'll work with the engineering committee, and we're just going to maximize construction.
Okay.
I'll get that.
So this could be a DOT grant for subsequent years. Is that what your thought is, just to keep going, to try to finish all of it? Okay. So no objections for that? Okay.
So the resolution should specifically say
Option 2.
Option 2. Okay, and then the last one,
local recreation.
there's no cost to the borough. That's awesome. So we just got to, this is the
Drainage and
drainage at the baseball fields?
and then we're going to maximize, we're going to get the drainage done, and any extra money, we're going to do multi-use paths.
Does any of this work, is any of the area to be disturbed, is it in any of that easement area behind the fields? Is that something that hasn't foreclosed on yet?
Is that where it floods all the time?
It's looking at putting drainage between the
2 fields?
field house and the concession stand.
Right.
Send drainage down between the fields.
Does anything have to be out on the Bowers Avenue down there? Where the
That's
catch
where this is
are?
all
It's going to
about.
be separate, but it's not going into the easement area.
It's not going to the easement area.
We aren't going to touch the easement area.
Okay. Let's get the easement area.
Mark, is that where it floods down there by Bowers?
This is not going to fix the Bowers Avenue project. You have to do something specific for Bowers. It's going to help, but water still comes down.
Yeah, I know.
The Third Avenue wraps around.
But it's starting to grab the water though. I think this is like the first step. Grab the water up further upstream and move it is going to help downstream. You know, obviously,
You gotta start at the top.
yeah, we're starting at the top and eventually we have to get on Bowers Avenue.
I believe Harry said DOT is going to do some improvements on Third. Is that correct?
Will that help Bowers?
They're looking at 7. They'll look like they're coming over to you. Yes, they're on 7.
We have a plan for Bowers if we have money.
The more money we grab up closer to Black Horse Pike, the better, you know, except for if it goes too fast.
I just feel bad for the residents down there, you know? Right.
Okay. All right, so that takes care of all that. Green Fair event on April 21st, 2024. Who wants to talk about this? Ellen?
Oh, I can talk about it.
Okay, take the microphone. It's recording.
We submitted the green team. I'm secretary of the green team, and I submitted a letter for our chairman, Kathy Hornibrook, for the Green Fair to be held on the 21st. It's a Sunday, from 12 to 5, using Veterans Memorial Park. There will be other green teams participating with our green team from other towns. We will have many displays. We hope to have a beekeeper. It's going to be an interesting and large green fair that we're planning. So we'll have electric cars. It'll be strictly a green event.
Okay, I don't think there's going to be any objections, just some questions. Very well, Fed, you can ask those questions, but any police present? Yes or no?
Police what? Police.
Yeah.
No?
Yes and yes.
Oh, yes.
So
Why do you think we need police?
well, don't they normally at big events have police?
One or two.
I mean,
They ride around,
I mean, there's police on duty,
yeah.
but to have an officer there, what would he be, I mean, traffic? Is that
No,
the consideration?
no.
Are you guys rowdy?
No. No. On the initial events, planning activity, I did not put police.
Yeah, I don't think you need police. I'd rather, because that would save money the only thing is that, I mean, if it got large, that there was an issue, we could maybe deal with it, but, you know, I like that your expectations are very high, but I don't think it's the same as some of the other events.
Oh, it's not like Lovely. No, it won't be that large. No.
So I would say no to the police.
Okay.
And
Well,
then,
I did not put that on the event sheet.
okay, Eleanor?
Patty.
Okay, I'm sorry, because you know I'll forget.
Yeah, same.
You did fill out an events form, but for all of us to approve it, you need to have an events planning. So you did not put that with your events form, if you see on there.
What does a plan
So you
require?
have to tell us exactly what you want to do, correct? So,
What is it?
okay, so now you're going to have it on the greens. Do you need the Harry Williams? You need to tell us specifics of what, like you're saying now, like you're telling us now. So we need to know specifics.
Well, maybe you better talk with me on that, because I don't know what specifics you need.
Well,
Well, like an example, here's my list.
Go ahead.
So, police, that's a yes or no. Public Works, trash cans, tables, chairs, lights.
Now, well, it's on the activity sheet.
Okay.
But what's the planning thing that she's talking about?
Well, it's noon to 5. Well, the example that I would give is like the Borough has.
Is that our
That's-
new one?
That's, yeah,
Is
you
that
see
the
it?
new one?
You know, that's all I'm asking. If you needed police, if we needed anything, I think we can do it. The question is, what do you need from the
Okay,
Borough?
I'm sorry, it's called an action plan. So you
Yeah.
have to tell us what your actions are going to be. So exactly what you're saying.
Summary.
We're just gonna have a green fair.
Okay.
And we're gonna be inviting people to come and to learn about green sustainability. And it's education.
An action plan has to come with it.
Yeah, and I don't know what that could be.
Well, I think what you just said. You said the electric
Yes.
cars,
Yes.
the things like that, the tables, if there's a police
I asked
presence,
for that
fire. I don't know if you need
You're not-
fire,
like,
EMS.
Right, you're not saying like, do you need bathrooms, or you're going to be out there for 5 hours?
Do you want
what are you gonna do for
spot pots, or
bathrooms?
do
What
we
do
just
you-
go into the?
You know, stuff like that.
I mean, it's
Or
not gonna be
having
dark,
food,
right?
or-
5 o'clock is done being dark.
Okay.
Yeah, April shouldn't be dark.
Well, I think what we should do is approve this and then say, let's just get the details a little bit more. You know, talk to the police and Public Works. I think it's a wonderful thing. Does it get us points?
Yes.
Yeah. See, that's important, and you need to say that. Because that, you know, and we need to promote that stuff, because the reason we're doing all this stuff for sustainability is
We want to get silver.
we want to get something out of it. And I'm greedy. I want to get money for
Our town.
improvements
Being greedy there.
and stuff like that. So, I mean, we can vote on this at the next meeting, but I think, you know, by next Tuesday, if you could have, you know, a little bit more detail.
Okay.
Is the date?
You agree with that, Patty? Just need a little more
Yeah,
detail?
just a little bit more detail, that's all. Like,
Yeah.
are you going to be giving away bags or, you know,
Estimate how many people you think will be there? What were the other towns that were going there? Did you say there was other towns?
Probably Barrington.
Okay, that's nice.
They may be selling some, you know, native plants,
Okay.
have a table to sell native plants, and probably like Tri-County, maybe there,
That's great.
and things like that.
Okay. Great.
We'll have the chickens, we'll have the bees, but it's the 21st.
Chickens would be on a leash.
Chickens and bees are going to be here.
Oh, you know,
Before and after you fail. Harry provided us with chickens and
Is there gonna be a food truck too?
yes, Eleanor.
Well, see, that's something
See,
that
that's
we
the thing,
need to
if
know.
the two of you don't know.
Food. Oh, the women's club, remember I said we'd be selling baked goods?
Yeah, but
So
we're not
sit down and write it all
You two
down.
need to talk.
Cass, tomorrow night when we meet,
That's your action.
because you never told me you wanted a food truck.
Okay, well, that's nice. That's a good idea.
It's the
Figure it out,
21st.
bring them back to us.
Okay.
That's the action.
Let's keep going. 6-month temporary laborers. Harry, you want to talk about this? I mean, I saw it, but I didn't read your whole email. I
Oh,
promise.
did you approve that event?
We're going to do it at the Tuesday. Just try to get us a list by Tuesday.
We will,
Right?
definitely.
Are you okay with that? Richie, I know you're okay. Great team.
Yeah, we did.
Mr. Walter?
We're still looking at, we had two employees do their 6-month time. So with civil service, we can only work them for the 6 months, so we let them go. We are still looking for candidates to fill our full-time position, to meet some requirements with the CDL requirements or show initiative for it. So with that, we'd like to, came across 2 other applicants, so we'd like to start them on Monday the 5th. If we can have
6-month temporary?
a 6-month temporary.
Okay.
And that's at the $18.50 new rate for January 1st.
Okay. Can you get all the paperwork to,
They were copied with the email, and she has it with her right there.
and they know the process of how to get onto the payroll system?
As soon as we get approval here, then we'll get their emails, and then that will be forwarded for them to get their invite, and we'll take care of it from there.
I do care about people getting paid. Did you read that? Thank you. Thank
As
you.
we do with all of our other new hires.
All right. Was there anything else on those two?
No.
Okay, great. So no luck in full-time position work, huh?
We have still a couple that are working on it, but they fully haven't made it to where we're committed to say, all right, we want to offer them a full-time spot.
You want me to come down and do a pep talk?
No, we're good. You got it.
We usually do retro. I mean, the engineer brought up a good point. Should we approve it tonight so we don't have to deal with retro, or is that a big deal? What do you think with payroll and all? Should we do it tonight?
If you approve tonight, I can enroll them on.
We can enroll them, all right, if there's no objection, we can do the resolution tonight, this way we can get them on the payroll system. Okay, what would that resolution be?
That would be 2436.
Do we have their names?
Yes.
You want to read it since I don't have the copy?
Christian Velasquez and George Klucher.
Okay, so there'll be 6-month temporary public works employees at $18.50 an hour. Okay, would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Someone like to second?
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Lobenstein, second by Ms. Passio. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Passio?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein?
Yes?
Mr. Shapiro?
Yes.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
5 ayes, 1 absent.
That resolution is adopted. All right, that took care of that. Thank you, Mark. Construction fee schedule. Does the solicitor want to at least brief us a little bit about that?
Yes, so yesterday we did receive a construction fee schedule from our construction official. I have begun the process of doing a side-by-side comparison. It'll be on for first reading next week, and I will have the summary by then. Of course, we can always do it in first reading, and then if we have to amend or get any feedback, do it between readings, as long as it doesn't change the fundamentals of the ordinance. But we're moving forward on that.
Okay, just so everyone knows why it's important to do the fee schedule, is obviously we're paying our inspectors. And inspectors expect to get increases because of the costs. There's actually a lot less individuals out there doing the work, and so the costs have gone up. We've had some retirements, and some of the retirements we've had to pay more than we were paying before. So the fee schedule is important, but I want to just give you 2 examples. Obviously, you know I like to talk about my own personal experience. So I'm building a building on the Black Horse Pike. My construction fees to build that building were $11,468. To give you an example, and the way it's broken down is it's broken down by the square footage of the building, actually the cubic footage of the building, the electricity, and all that other kind of stuff. And to give you an example, the largest project going on in the borough right now is the warehouse that is being built on 9th Avenue. Their total construction fees I had Diane send it over to me before the meeting tonight, is $24,000. So now some of that money goes to the state of New Jersey. They get a percentage of that, but that helps offset the cost of going inside an 80,000 square foot building to do the inspections. Now that is separate from the inspections that the borough engineer has to do. Anything with the site and all that is done by the borough engineer. Gloucester Township is the same. They have a township engineer that does the outside work. But I don't think our fee schedule is a little bit off. You know, we try to keep in parity with the neighboring towns. So once we get this done, hopefully that'll help the finances in that department, because I think we believe that department's going to start going into a negative if we don't start to have. Now, we're going to have a lot more work. The warehouse is a lot of work. The 92 townhomes. We're hoping La Quinta, we're hoping to have a preliminary meeting with La Quinta's new owners. I haven't heard anything about Popeyes. I haven't heard anything about the car wash. And then, you know, infill of housing is slowed down a little bit, but, you know, people fixing their houses up. That's the dilemma. We still have to pay the inspectors regardless of how many inspections they do. So hopefully we'll get this done. This will be our second or third try at this? Get these? Third try? Get these right. Okay. You want to go around the room now? Patty?
Okay, just brief, anything else that I can remember, I will say it at our next meeting. February is Heart Health Month, and our Wear Red Day is February 2nd. It's always the first Friday in February. Just briefly, to let you know that there are 6 million people who have heart disease. It is the #1 killer of women, and heart disease is the leading cause of death. So be good to your heart. And I'm asking that we wear red at our next meeting.
Okay.
And I also have pins that I bought. I will leave them in the borough for anybody that would like to come and pick up some pins and some little information on heart disease. So guys, there's pins. I'm going to pick them up. I have plenty. I thought I brought them tonight. I must have left them on my counter.
I have mine.
So, okay, and I will give you, I'll give you 20 of them. So, and with that, I just think.
Okay. We'll go around the table. Dan?
Okay, yeah, so I started out by meeting with the departments, just kind of ice-breaking, meeting with, I didn't really know our construction official, so I met with him, and I think maybe I helped get this fee schedule moved along a little bit. I've met
Well, thank you.
with Shelley a few times and get my feet wet, and with Beth and everybody up front. So just kind of get my feet wet here and moving along, and then we did, Mrs. Kelly and Shelley and I did attend a budget seminar last night over at Bowman Associates, which I found to be very interesting and informative. So it was definitely worth going to.
Who was there? Anybody there that you knew? Was there a lot of?
Well, Mrs. Kelly knew everybody. So
That's good.
Because usually it's a lot of new people mostly, like maybe new
yeah, there was some new
council
people. I knew a guy from Monroe Township just through whatever, and then I recognized a few of the auditors from coming in and out of here, but I never.
Okay. So they were all there? That's
Everybody was there, yeah. So it was worthwhile.
Let him keep going. No,
No, that's
Are
it.
you all done?
Finished.
All right, thank you.
It's a great first
Well,
one.
thank you, Mayor.
Great first report.
I had the opportunity this week of visiting the firehouse to see the new construction that is going on. So I invite all of you to go to the firehouse and see the improvements that have been made. It's a beautiful kitchen that has been installed. There's a beautiful bathrooms for the boys and the girls, separate.
Men and women.
And then there's going to be beautiful showers. The shower room is not done yet, but it's just lovely. And I want to commend the chief and Anthony. Great job. It just looks so great. While I was there, I had the opportunity to see our men in action. And a call came in from the turnpike. A trailer was on fire, and within 3 minutes, that apparatus was out of that firehouse in 3 minutes. It was me, and it was out of the firehouse in 3 minutes. I never saw anything like that in my life. Within 5 minutes, they were at the fire.
That's great.
It was incredible. I was like, oh. And I listened to it all on
And
the
you
radio.
didn't follow in the trunk?
Oh, I would have.
No, 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 no.
heard of the
fire
term,
hydrant
Yeah, I
for
can.
me.
Directing traffic.
Traffic. You, get out of here.
It was amazing. I just love
can't
our
believe you
fire
said
department.
Just on a side note, I did jump on the truck one time and Chief Moriarty worked me to death out there.
Wow,
I will
really?
not let that happen again.
Anything else, Eleanor? on the
Well, I
departments?
have no May, if you want to talk about that.
We're still a little early on that.
Yeah.
You don't want to talk about it?
I don't think we should have a problem with it. Is there any objections to no mow May?
Well, my only objection is
It's
that,
not,
Start mowing in June.
that June 1st, they mow.
it's voluntary.
Yeah, it's
So
not-
can we put this out on the sign and put it on our website so people know that?
I think the only thing we have to do is make sure our code enforcement understands that we're not gonna enforce that.
No, it's.
You have any problem with
To an
that,
extent.
Dan, what are you thinking?
I'm just thinking, I don't have a problem with it, no.
But here's what we need.
I think it's a mixed signal if you're saying that you have an ordinance to cut your grass. We've charged people in court that didn't cut the grass. That's the only thing, it's a miss, you know what I'm saying?
It is,
I
and,
personally don't have a problem with it.
You know, the only thing I liked about it was that it was voluntary.
Yes.
People could or could not do it. I do agree with you. I would say that we've had very little citing of people recently. I think we've done a good job of kind of pulling back.
Fair.
I think the chief is, what's that?
Yeah, I think that's fair, especially when our abandoned
I
property.
mean, if it's obnoxious, I
Right.
think maybe we could put a little caveat.
I think there needs to
No
be
mow
evidence,
May.
yeah.
But if it's an abandoned house, I think we have to be maybe a little more difficult with them. We do cut grass, what, about 6 houses a year now? We're down to, not even?
I want to say we were at 9.
We were at 9 last year.
Well, I think the caveat here too is that the municipal grounds are not going to be affected by this. Harry already told me that he will cut in May for the municipal grounds. That it
We have
cannot be-
activities, we have.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
can't not mow in May. So municipal grounds will be cut. But I think that if people want to do this, they should, if they
With-
want to.
within
But how do we
reason.
get it out to them that they
Well, the
can?
only thing we could do is to sign in the website, and I mean, I would love to know who the people are. I don't know how you do that, like if you wanted to do it, if you could send something
The
or
Xerxes-
sign up.
Wait. The Xerxes Society does have signs that you can put out that month and
And that's good.
say.
And
Well,
I
maybe
think
that's the way to
a great
make it
idea.
official. So that's how we know who not
Yeah.
to.
That's
You
a
know.
great idea.
If they want to do this, they should get signs.
Well, why don't we have like you said, let's have a good draft that says, if you're gonna do this, you must get a sign from the team. And then the team can actually
Signs are
say.
available, yeah.
I'm gonna look into it.
Yeah.
Just place the sign
Okay,
on the
so
line.
Xerxes
Bob's
has
gonna put them on all
signs.
his properties, it's gonna save him a couple thousand.
So if they want to do that, they have to
You gonna do it,
grab
Bob?
signs? What do you think, Mayor?
I think it's a great idea, because I think I saw your concern.
Yeah.
I know your concern, and I think.
Yeah.
it's
So
good.
if they put that on your lawn, you know what
Great,
they're
they're,
doing.
they're, right,
Perfect.
they're
Any
participating,
objections,
they're
Mike?
participating in the no mow, yeah. I think that's a good sign.
Go ahead.
It's just that
I
they,
will email you this.
And you'll go around lifting the
That if they
signs.
are going to do it.
no, I'm not gonna go around lifting the signs, but the June 1st, people need to mow. This is not, let it go.
They'll
When I
have,
see
they
houses
can get signs,
around
and I'll
town.
find out more about this.
No, tell them.
What? I was talking with our clerk, very important.
He was saying that he thinks that there has to be a time limit.
Yes.
I think it's gotta be made clear to anybody who does
Make it
this.
clear that they mow on June
That
1st.
first week of June, they have to get it done.
First week of June.
Yeah. Okay. I'd like to see how many people do it. That would be the most interesting thing to me.
Well,
I know my son would do it if it was up to him.
I bet you would.
Okay,
So
anything
we'll
else
get
on
your
there?
signs from the green sheet.
I think that's a great idea.
Signs are great, great idea.
Okay, Richie?
Yeah.
What do you got?
Let's see,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, over here, let's see, the RYA and softball are signing up for baseball season and softball season. I think they started last week, and that's until the end of, probably March. I got the list, I talked to Charlene from softball, she gave me a list on her wish list. I'll shoot that over to Harry and we'll discuss it a little bit more.
20,000 seat stadium?
It's pretty much, as long as it comes with lights, you know, that's them. But the list was reasonable, it wasn't crazy, so
Too soon.
that was
Is it
cool.
too early
I'm
for
still
opening
waiting.
days?
Opening days for baseball right now is tentatively, where's it at? The RY had minutes.
They should have been.
Yeah, no, they had their third meeting, their fourth one in February, and then they'll have elections on March 5th.
Wow.
So, I'm impressed. The one lady that took over as Secretary Sam,
Same one.
she's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, she got a new website for them, and the website, it kind of works with Little League Baseball. So all the volunteers have to fill out
The background.
and we click, send the background check, and it goes straight to JP, and then goes to Little League Baseball, so no more, they can do it online. I mean, they already got about, I would say about 8 to 10 people that already went to the website. We're making everybody who wants to volunteer, who wants to be a coach, who wants to volunteer with us, snacks, hands, anything, because baseball, Little League Baseball came back with, Jeremy and, McCarr went to the Little League District meeting, and they have all this stuff where Little League is coming down on things like that, making the mandatory. Last was my neighborhood. Whenever 2 or 3 years, I went on the background check.
That's important.
They have other caveats with one-on-one coaches and kids, they kind of run on that, that's all now, especially opposite sex, but. So, but they're making it, right now, it's going to start off as a very strong suggestion, but within the next couple of years, it's going to be straight up no, so. One-on-one interaction with the coach and the kid by themselves, so keep it in a group effort and stuff.
Can we move that poll yet for the second minor field? Get that out there? Do you know about that fence being, we're all in agreement that fence can be moved. I just gotta pull the pole out of there and move that fence back. You know what they're gonna have is 2 minor fields. The little kids can always play on it. The fence is just further back so that they can have, they have a larger minor group right now, right? Is that what the issue is? There's sort of too many.
Same baseball.
No, the base path they lose 5 feet, I think.
First base path was always short. It was just something I think when they first did that, there was a concrete or asphalt that was over there that they didn't dig up, so they just put, kind of keep everybody away from it running there. But then something happened where they needed it to be regulated.
Well, they're in a different league now, right? They're in a
Yeah, a
different.
little different league,
Yeah.
and other teams from the town make big states.
Well, as long as we get that pulled out, then the fence can get moved and move on. Okay.
Softball, baseball, that's about
For
it.
softball, we're gonna make sure their scoreboard works, we're gonna make sure their sprinklers work.
We gotta, and she's gonna try to be better about communicating, instead of telling us all at one time. How about this, honestly, some of the things with the clubhouse they have, I didn't know it was that bad. Did you know what they were saying? We do
You
something
mean about the
with that.
flooding?
Yeah, we knew it was a little flooding, but I think it got worse, but last year they didn't say anything at all about it. So that's why I was telling them, you gotta keep me informed so I can see what.
And work together, they can, like I said, you're right, if something's broken, it's not to say they can't help, at least communicate. You don't know the flooding?
No, exactly. They were saying it was leaking too much from going to where the bathrooms are, leaking, but right, they didn't tell me all that shit. Only thing they used to make sure they told us was the fields and outside the fields, if there was something going on, but clubhouse, I didn't hear anything, and I told you already that too, I said, you didn't tell me anything. Well, we usually fix it ourselves, that's kind of game.
The towers.
Yeah, let us know, so.
The only thing I'll say is,
Come here and you say all this, and I'm like, door for me, a loop, and he was like, well, I ain't getting my McDonald's. That's fine, I'm not worried about anybody, all you want, but I still want to know this.
Right?
so hopefully we have a little bit of capital money to maybe do some of the small things. I think one of the things was like an appropriate bleacher, wasn't that one of the things? Little things like that where I think we can step up, do stuff like that, other than what Harry can do, where we can make a small purchase that benefits the whole facility.
Right, but the T-ball, the bleachers, is limited space over there.
Okay.
It's
What did she
not-
want? Did she want one?
She wanted bigger, I think, bigger bleachers, but with the spacing over there is tough, and.
Well, maybe I think she wanted for the big girls, where you have to have.
Big
like-
girls have bleachers,
They're-
they have.
But they're the big, are they?
They're big enough.
Okay, we'll wait to see what she says.
And all that, and most of the time with the big girls, most parents come with their own chairs.
Yeah,
The reason for T-ball, so it's limited spacing, but T-ball to me usually gets the most famous. So being because you got grandparents coming out of the city, they'll T-ball to play for the first time. You got aunts and uncles coming, so usually it's more of a, so if you get kind of, but it's kind of friends there anyway. So I want to look at it.
Well, maybe there's something we can do.
You just gotta be respectful for, once you go past the 3-tier, you gotta look
With the
at,
fence, the gate.
well, you
And I'm okay with
gotta,
that.
you gotta, no, plus you gotta do ADA and you gotta have concrete under it and so forth. So
Yeah, can't budge, you know, can't make sure.
it's all, now you just went and,
Well, but that's the capital investment,
Yeah.
and I think that's what she was asking for us. She was asking us to start to keep investing constantly, and I think we've done a good job. We
Oh,
keep
yeah,
going.
yeah,
I know.
much more so than the past.
Yeah, okay.
And Harry, tell me about the field, so he has a plan set up for the fields for softball and of course for baseball, so, the rest is just progress.
What have we,
Craig, you want to get into the microphone?
pickleball courts, anything on that?
So the only thing I say about that is, Richie and I looked at a grant that just came out, and I think the pickleball really goes there, but it starts with everything. Everything starts with how much does something cost?
Yeah,
So the only way we can apply for a grant is we need to get somebody out there to give us an estimated cost, then we can start filling out the paperwork for the grant. And then if the grant comes in, just like our CDBG grants or the DOT grant, you know, if we say the pickleball court's gonna cost $100,000, and they'll give us $50,000, then we have to decide if we have the matching grant kind of aspect. But without a hard number, we need somebody out there to give us it. Now, I don't know if it should be thrown to the engineering department, because I think it's pretty substantial. I think we're gonna have to tear that all the way down to the base and start over again.
if we do anything major money, the base needs to be redone, because we're just throwing good money out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that's the only way to do it. I think we have to maybe make it an engineering committee's project to at least, is that something you could do, or do you think we go out and find a vendor first to?
Well, yeah. Are you talking about?
It's gonna be over the bid threshold. Yeah, it's gonna be
Are you
over.
talking about the local recreation improvement grant?
Yes.
February 27th, well, we gotta act quickly. I was gonna talk about that tonight, and that's something we want to do.
I'd like to do it if we could come up with a number. That's what we were looking at, but it only just came out, a couple weeks ago.
And that's something, you know, where you include everything around.
Oh, so you're talking like the 77,000, is that one again?
That's coming out. Yeah.
Ah,
So it's typically 100,000.
It's typically 100?
That's the maximum you'll get.
Well, I think pickleball is a great application. I think people love it, it's new, and the fact
And
that
it's
Runnemede was,
popular.
we were one of the
Those
first ones to put it in.
Those
And on our,
courts
if
are
you
so
want,
busy.
yeah, if you want me to help with the application, we could say when we first spent our money to do that, and now the courts need base work. But I think it's gonna be, it may be more than $100,000 to rip everything down. But if you can, if you wanna do that, I mean, I know you wanna put that, well, we'll do your meeting, your report, but let's do that, because we talked about it briefly.
Yeah, and
But it's gonna have to go out to the engineering department, it's too
it's
big
a
a
lot more
project.
than, for the last couple of years, we've been,
Yeah, Band-Aids.
It takes this Band-Aid, it just keeps on, getting worse, and they keep playing it, so it's tough. But, you
So
know,
up to 100K, okay, that would be great. All right, did you have something else on Public Works?
No, I just wanted to, snowstorm, streets seem to be pretty well cleaned. Some of the streets got torn up by the plows, Harry knows about that. We have to look at that. Trash is being picked up, everything seems to be copacetic there.
Now, is it too cold to use the zipper to zip any of those potholes and fix them like that, or do you do that in spring?
no, but we don't have the educated staff for that now. So we're just going right now patching. Unfortunately, with the ground being so wet, and now this cold coming in, that's where across the northeast,
Yeah.
you're getting all the potholes and that everybody's experiencing.
I'm sorry, I didn't, but I know that you said pothole, and I know we bought a zipper last year,
Yeah.
and the idea was to be able to do that.
Yeah.
If we can do it in the spring, that would be great.
Yes, that's what we're looking at doing on, I think we have 8 locations
Okay.
to work on that.
Oh, that's it, that's all I have.
So, yeah, I didn't get any, but nobody calls me anymore. I don't know why.
I'm sure he's always there.
Good. I think you did a great job with the salt, a lot more salt this year. This was gonna ice out, that's why you put a lot down.
And how much do we sell other towns to?
How'd you do with the brine?
We had several towns come over for Brian, I don't know the exact numbers of how many gallons is and what the price was. I know per gallon it's 60 cents, but we had Mount Ephraim, Belmar, Barrington come and
Nice.
pull brine from us plus ours ourselves. So, I mean, we did every street twice. with the first storm and then the secondary storm, so it helps out that way.
That's good.
I was, one thing here, I was driving down Clemens Bridge today at the White Horse Pike. Barrington was getting some work done, or someone was, and they had a vac truck there from Mr. Route 24 or something like that. There was a big vac truck like ours. Is that Barrington doing that?
No, that was probably for the apartments right there. That's actually private property, the line's there. They have to maintain it on their own.
It's by the White Horse Pike and Clemens Ridge Road, right on the corner there, underneath the overpass.
Then actually, they could be subbed out with the state doing work, because you got Mount doing work for their lines and everything else. So I mean, that's Barrington. Yeah, they have their own system. So I don't know why they, I don't know why they just take it. So it could be anything.
I was just thinking, we could have rented ours out, That's anyway, so. All right.
We'll go, Harry, did you want to?
Yeah, I got a couple other things to talk about. There was an email that I sent out to Public Works and Engineering, copied you, Mayor, for the concrete work that we were doing with the sidewalks down by American Fence, a couple of repairs. With that, we have to apply for a DOT permit to do anything in the right-of-way. We're $790 into the DOT permit, and probably 4 trees of 4 reams of paper for everything that we had to submit. And we got this wonderful list back of standard details that we need for NJDOT, and this isn't submitted, that's not submitted. So we actually need assistance from the engineer's office if we can get permission to tie them in, but we have a time delay. We have to have it done within 30 days or we lose our deposit for our permit.
Well, I'm going to say it out in the public meeting. Let's do it and get moving. You get the application in, and let's get the contractor ready to go. Why don't you at least review the drawings and get it done? I mean, I know a guy, Patel Smeed up at the DOT, if you need me to call, but we have to get the correct drawings to the contractor and the correct drawings to the DOT. Well, let's get it done in the 30 days. The only thing, did we communicate with the owners of these properties in front of them before we put the sidewalks in?
That was a project you were taking on, Mayor.
Well, you got to remind me. I mean, I didn't know we were,
Numbers.
Send me the drawings and I'll knock on the door of that guy.
Yep.
Another door I'm knocking on. Because I'm just concerned about the guy on Clemens Ridge Road. I want to make sure because he sometimes parks his cars up on the sidewalk, and I don't want to hurt him.
Okay.
I mean, we have to put the sidewalk in, but I want to at least talk to him ahead of time.
Okay, and actually, we were looking at possibly withdrawing one because part of the sidewalk was in front of, on, where the county's coming down, Evesham, we're going to tie in everything. We were doing the Clemens Bridge Road side where the sign
Oh, yeah,
was.
he's doing all that.
So
You're
they're
right.
going to do all that, so we might have to pull that out itself. But we have some conflicts with the other stuff with the DOT, and we just want to get, because we got the curb in front of Borough Hall, the corner out here at first, the curbing's, the side, the handicap's good, but the curbing's bad. But is it within the grade? Because if we're touching it, we got to bring it up to ADA compliance. That's the issue the state has.
So just for everyone in the audience, and also, the county is paving Evesham Road from Hartford all the way to the point. They're also putting sidewalks on both sides.
Hartford. Yeah. No. Schubert.
Schubert. Oh, they're
Schubert.
skipping Hartford. I thought
They're skipping Schubert to
Schubert
Hartford.
to the point. They're putting sidewalks on both sides of the road. Our side, they just need a little help with Captain Chucky's because there's a right-of-way issue. On the Gloucester Township side, they've got some retaining walls, if you know how steep it is over there. What else are they going to try to do?
What about the manholes?
They were actually on Gloucester Township sides. Yeah, so the manholes were on their side, it wasn't on our side.
Okay, yeah, so, yeah, and the manholes that are on ours,
Manholes as large as
it's a federal
sanitary.
government project, so because they're going to be disturbing it, the federal government allows to repair some of that stuff, so they're hoping just to throw it all into one big basket.
Right. Our manhole system for our sanitary system, they're putting it in their program for, since it's federal money. They're going to throw it in there and hopefully it's funded if
But it won't
not.
happen until 2025. It's 1 year from now.
I like
It's
this.
a year time frame for the getting started.
And then another issue was to bring up this, to have it documented with the record through Finance and Public Works, the fire alarm systems with Franklin Alarms. We ran into a little issue just to clean up some issues. The Harry Williams building, and Green Acres bathroom are being deemed as emergency because they're occupied buildings, and with that, it's urgent to get alarms back up and running. And then with that, the alarm system, we're out of the bid threshold in that for the Scout building.
Okay.
So it's something to
We're
clean up
needing an
things.
emergency.
Yes.
Okay, do we need a resolution for that? No? So we're just deeming an emergency, you're gonna issue the PO and get it done.
They're issued, it's just that the materials have been
Delayed.
delayed for so long.
Okay.
It was,
So we already have it, it's already in the system, we're just gonna get it done.
It's just clean up
So you're
everything on
gonna
both
get it
ends. It's already being under construction.
Good.
But is this something
And
that's
this is
making-
separate from the library, right? Didn't I hear something about the libraries getting fixed, that got fixed?
Library is all part of the
and that was
building.
part of the Harry Williams.
It is part of it. Okay.
So it's all being upgraded down there.
All right, good. Anything else?
We had quads on the soccer fields.
Yes, we did.
Did we find out who they were?
Was it damaged?
I'm not a police officer, I can't answer
All
that.
right, all right. The police chief isn't here. We have got to find out who these quads are. I'm not a detective, but I think I can figure it out in about 15 minutes to go find out. We need to tell these people who are doing this, we need to cite them, they need to do restitution, and we can't allow them during the snowstorm, they can't be running around. We need to tell the chief and the officers that if quads are running around during the snowstorm, they have to be impounded, ticketed, whatever.
And they're on the soccer fields?
They went out onto the onto the parks, and the tires do damage to the grass
Not as bad.
because it's wet.
Now, is
Yeah.
there,
And we have cameras, we should be able to figure this out.
All of the videos were passed on to the police department and everything. That was already done by.
So we need
Public Works.
restitution on it.
The other issue is on, besides just our properties, it's the roadways with the side-by-sides. They're running around during the storms, and somebody's gonna get hurt because they're cutting off in front of the plow trucks and everything else, and it's like driving a tanker truck.
Call
When
me
you
next
hit
Is
like-
this during the day?
It's during a storm.
During the snowstorm.
they want to get out there with their machines, and you can't blame them, but they're not supposed to be on the highways. Or
On the streets.
on streets or whatever.
They're not allowed to be on the streets, correct?
No, no.
Yeah, so, is there any way we can block everything off? I mean, like wire going across everywhere?
It's more of a hazard liability.
Yeah.
No.
They're breaking the law.
It just needs enforcement. It just needs, you still got people, bicycles, stuff like that. You can't, okay, storm, you got too much other prepping to do, go out there and do all that stuff.
I mean, the pickleball people went out there with shovels and
I mean,
shoveled the
it's-
pickleball court.
I mean, the town
Did you
has to.
see that? They went out there after the storm, they shoveled the pickleball court so they could play.
The town has to be aggressive.
That's dedication.
That's for sure.
We're done.
The town has to be aggressive because with it,
That is what they were-
you know, we'll be happy to take people with, I got a person, Sharon in the room, he loves giving tours during snow plowing, but the basketball hoops, the trailers that are on the roadways, all that stuff is hazards when we're plowing.
Well, in
We
the
had
past,
one,
the police department used to, at least as a courtesy, go talk to those people and move them, and I think that was always a positive. We just have to get back in it again. We
Yeah.
weren't prepared this
yeah,
last
for
time.
2 years, now we're getting back into it. We had a lot of
We
phone
had a couple
calls.
years where we didn't have to worry about
You
it.
didn't get phone calls, we had phone calls because where's the plow trucks? As Mr. Lobbins said, we did some damage to roads. You gotta have 3 to 4 inches of snow to plow. If not, you're beating the road, the equipment and everything else. We have people at 8:30 in the morning demanding a plow truck in front of their house. It was just barely covering the roadways, you know, so, I mean, it really didn't come down to where it was plowable until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And pretty much, we can't clean up the roads. People just gotta bear with us until the last flake drops is when we can clean it up. Because other than that, it just keeps falling down and we go out. But that's an issue, it just seems, and the snow blowers blowing everything back into roadways. You know, we had ice coming at us, we had to put more salt down because we had people with snow
I think you did
blowers.
a good job with the salt.
But that's a big problem that we gotta, everybody needs to be a part of it. You know, we don't need to complain about it,
Another thing we do
everybody
is
needs to
maybe
be a
try
part
to
of the
educate
solution.
people on the website, and, you know, we send letters out, but, you know, we have to do the best we can. And utilize the police department, utilize your office. Is there anybody manning the phone during the storm? It's something we need to think about maybe in the future. Tell people what to do.
What's your cell number? I'll be forward.
609-707.
I volunteer, Mr. Dosora said he was the.
I got no problem talking to anybody.
So,
some money, I'll do it.
so Mrs. Kelly, the police department has the videos on the quads.
I'll talk with the chief.
Yes, please. Thank you.
It's just restitution is the most important.
Yeah.
Fix this stuff.
Yeah.
We don't want to have to spend money on something that your beds.
It's not our fault.
Okay, is there anything else, Harry?
No, not at this time.
Great, thank you, Harry. Mark, we'll go to Mark first, we'll let Shelley do the big final. I'm the lawyer, but he always says, he can't say anything.
Well, that's exactly what I'm gonna say. Well, other than what we've already discussed. I'm that predictable, huh?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I submitted my report in writing and emailed it to everybody this afternoon. The first three things were already talked about with our proposals for the DOT project, CDBG project, and the local recreation improvement grant. So the next week, we'll approve. I will meet with the engineering committee to discuss the DOT, what we can do with the money. Since we have 3 roads listed, we can't do all 3, so we just have to get priority going. And once that's priority established, then we'll start the design. The 2022 CDBG project on First Avenue, we had submitted a recommendation for payment, number 1, back in November. We're currently reviewing payment application number 2, and then we'll support a project closeout to CDBG and get that project off the books. The 2023 DOT project on Harding Avenue, Maine, we submitted the plan specifications and engineer's estimate to DOT. They reviewed it, they have a few comments, so we're currently making some revisions to the plans and specs. As soon as we get them back to the DOT and get concurrence, we'll put that project out for bid.
What was their comment?
It's stupid little things. They change specs and they just want certain things done a certain way. They're getting nitpicky and it's just crazy.
I mean, that's nothing, it's paint avenues.
It's just, they're changing the specs and they want to follow DOT procedures that you follow on a state highway. It doesn't make sense and we're very frustrated with it. But we'll get that resolved and get that out to bid. The 2022 DOT project on Madam Court and Bowers Avenue. After 6 months, DOT finally did their final inspection and had no corrective action required, so we were able to make a recommendation for release of retainage. And as soon as that payment's made, we'll work on closing out the project with DOT so you can get file reimbursement on that project.
Does that need to be on the bill list or resolution for the retainage to go out? It's on the bill list?
It should be. I don't know if it is.
I didn't review it. I didn't see it.
I think I sent it last Thursday, January 25th, I sent that out. Sham Road sanitary sewer manholes, you sort of talked about that. I do have a typo in here, like the mayor, I thought they were going to Hartford Drive, but they're stopping at Schubert.
Yes, I made that mistake.
But we did send the design plans we had for the manhole replacements to Suburban Consulting Engineers, so they're going to put that right into their design plans, and then you'll have a shared service agreement with the county to reimburse them whatever it costs to replace those manholes.
If we have,
Okay. Under general engineering, the 2024 local rec improvement grant, we sort of touched on that. I understand you want to go for pickleball improvements, application due February 27th. I will get a sample resolution to Joyce and Beth, so we get that on next Tuesday's meeting.
okay.
So that's going to be another resolution you'll have is for that. My report says we could have considered phase 2 of the RYA baseball complex, but we're not going to go up to pickleball equipment, so that's for that. Pump Station H, we had a meeting with DPW out there on site to see what upgrades we need to do for the Horton project. Steve Lapp's working on that. We're trying to come up with what's the required upgrades and get a cost associated with that, so you can get a fair share from the developer to improve that pump station.
Is that the new pump station that we just put in to handle?
No, this is on Evesham,
Evesham.
because of the new townhouses, the additional homes.
We have to
Well, we just
upgrade.
put in a new pump station to handle the new sewer project.
No, two separate things. This is the townhomes.
Yeah, so,
Forest Avenue takes care of Davis. This will be, Evesham's going to take care of Hartford.
the 100 homes that we're putting,
Yeah.
that we're hooking up, where do they go?
They're going to come up Davis to Forest. This is Evesham Road. It's going to take care of
Separate project.
the 92 townhomes.
Okay.
So part of the agreement of the planning board was if you're going to build 92 homes and add to our sewers, you've got to make sure our pump can handle it. And so they have to make a few repairs or improvements to the pump.
So that's holding up their final approval, because we have to come up with the cost for that to give to the borough, so we can upgrade that pump station.
We need to get on that because they want to start building.
We're working on it.
That's holding up work.
That's what's holding them up, because I signed off on all the stuff for the DEP, so this is the last thing then.
We met last week, I think.
Okay.
Met last week, and Thursday, there was a preliminary talk with them about the,
I mean, how much work has to be done in the pump station?
it's, can we talk off record?
On the record, is it 2 pumps?
No, it's pump controllers with new VFDs for soft starts to equalize the system. So with that, they were given an
So you're getting numbers
estimated.
and telling them that's what needs to be done, and they have to agree with that.
Steve mentioned about 80,000, I'll look that, finalized or not, look that. Okay, narrative. Right now, there are some discussions going on. DPW drainage improvements, we have a concept of how we're going to resolve the drainage issues down there. We're looking into what permitting is required, so we figure that out, make sure we can get our soil erosion permit. We will coordinate with CCMUA.
So we're doing all this stuff and then handing it off to the CCMA, is that the plan?
Yes. Right, the cost estimate, meet with CCMUA and try to get that going. Once we have finalized what we're going to do with the drainage improvements, then we can talk about the vehicle storage and the salt shed separately. But first, we're trying to get your drainage improvements resolved out there. We're working with Public Works to do.
Will that help you know, they have the flooding and all that?
That's what it's all about. It's about mitigating the flood. But we need to do all the work and then hand it over to CCNUA. They don't want to do any of the work, they want us to do all the work, and then they're going to either reimburse us and pay for it.
So that's that. The sewer extension project on Davis Road, the shop drawings for the manhole structures was approved. We have a tentative delivery date from Atlantic Precast of March 25th or April 1st. Once that delivery date is confirmed, we will issue the notice to proceed to the contractor and follow with that contract run.
And at that point, once we know the date, then we're going to send out letters to all that neighborhood, letting them know what's going on.
And then with that letter, we also want to ask the residents
To locate
where they want to put their sewer
Their
laterals.
clean out, okay.
And we can hand out a wood lat with a ribbon on or
Okay.
something like that.
That's a great idea.
Pound it into the ground, so.
Dan walks a lot.
Yeah.
You do walk, right? You do a couple miles.
So, we're trying to get some heavy on that. Our as-bills for the sanitary and storm and sewer, we handed off hard copies and jump drive to DPW and the Borough Clerk on December 20th. That's a living, breathing document, so as soon as we know that there's some revisions, we can update it.
So we're going to post that on our website. We're going to put a
Already
caveat to say that it's a guideline or some kind of language to say
There's a
that
disclaimer on the first page.
there's a disclaimer that says it. But we're trying to.
already posted.
Did you post it? Great. We're trying to educate the town what's out there.
It says Davis Road. What's going on Davis Road?
Where are you,
The
where are you looking
slip
at?
lining.
What page are you on?
Oh.
We were on page 8.
Oh, I was looking at the stormwater.
Yeah, we're on page-
slip lining.
Yeah, we're on page 8.
I have no update on that.
Yeah.
It's,
This is Rambler Avenue. One of the houses signed off, the other house has not signed off yet.
I have no update on it.
Until they sign off for us to get on their property, we can't fix the line. The one gentleman signed it, the other woman, she was away, she said that she'll review it and hopefully sign it. But in the interim, we're gonna keep doing other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And now I'm on page 9, the rules and regs for general sewer engineering. We handed off 4 copies of the regular draft copy to DPW on December 20th. Once they have any comments, we will finalize that, and then we're opening adopt their rules and regulations.
Sounds good?
And that's everything I have that's been updated since last month.
Good job.
Anybody have any questions on it?
All right, I'm gonna belabor this.
Sure.
The homes that are being hooked up, the 100 homes.
Now, what project are you talking about?
I'm talking about the sewer project.
The existing
Davis
homes.
Road.
Okay, the
Yeah,
existing
they're
homes.
being hooked up into the sewer.
Yeah.
How is that gonna be pumped up to Forest Avenue? Because the grading doesn't look like it's
I'm
going
gonna
to.
explain it.
It's being pumped up.
I'll do it in layman's terms. At the end of Sunnybrook, at the end of Evergreen, and at the end of Sunset, those are the pumps. The water goes downhill, pumps, everything actually pumps to Evergreen. And then from Evergreen, it pumps all the way up Davis to Hartford Drive.
And what are these pumps? Are they just in the
They're no
ground?
different than think of your sump pump in your basement. It's very similar. There's a pit, water goes in the pit, and as it comes up, there's pumps that alternate and pump
And
it
it
up.
goes all the way up to Forest?
And we have, currently the borough has 9 of them. The largest is behind Bingham School on Orchard Avenue. There are these huge, massive holes in the ground that the wastewater goes into, and as it comes up, it pumps up. Because remember, gravity, everything coming downhill, but then we pump to the next. And then we pump everything, so you know, to the CCMUA pump station at
Right.
corner of Payne, or
So
Broadway.
it's not
and
going to be a
Crescent.
problem getting that sewage up to Forest Avenue?
No.
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay. Now, Horton is going to put 96 homes. What is the pump station they're using?
Evesham,
And whose is that?
ours.
Over behind the Metropolitan, there's another pump station.
There's a little,
Going down the road from
there's a
the-
little road behind, what's the 2 houses there? There's a little path in the
Before it
road.
gets to PSE&G substation.
Yeah, so just like.
Oh, it's back there where
Yes,
PSE&G is? Oh, okay.
Very close, yes.
It's buried in the woods.
And that goes up to the CCNUA, right?
Everything eventually gets to the
Yeah.
CCMA.
All right.
When they don't clean any sewage.
I just want to make sure that we have
That's
enough
station.
pump stations to handle all these new homes.
Well,
You know
that's
what
why
I'm
they're,
saying?
that's why they're telling, they want Horton to put up $80,000 to upgrade these pump stations.
Eleanor, we have 16 towns that pump through Runnemede to get to the CCMUA.
Well, she's talking about our pumps.
I know, but that's how much they handle it.
Yeah, our pumps are in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
We have the new ones at Lakeview, the new one at Central.
Constantly maintenance
We're
on
maintaining the one on
replacing,
Forest by you, is already upgraded.
It's from Waterford that comes all the way down.
We're not in charge of that.
I know, but don't you remember when Beaverbrook had the problem? When the,
That was not our problem, it was their.
no, I know it was, but it affected our people.
Well, if you remember, the solution, which was the right solution, is they did a bypass instead of just turning it off. And then we had no spillage.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Okay. Anything else? Anyone else? All right, Shelley?
We have filed our monthly and quarterly SCG reports for Vicksburg, which is our performance reports.
Thanks. I know you copied me. It's great.
You're welcome.
Basically saying
I
no
know you're
progress.
very excited.
No progress. That's what she files, no progress.
Oh, we did have to file one that actually has some details.
No progress.
Yes. Our annual debt statement is due tomorrow, so next week I will have that for everybody. Our annual financial statements are in progress as well. We should have this for the next few weeks.
So Dan, you get to read that at the next meeting.
Will be quizzed.
I won't be here for, we'll be here for a week.
Anything else?
No, that is all.
All right, Dan?
We already talked about my topics, and the rest I can't talk about.
Thank you, Dan.
Anything else? So the only thing I want to say to everyone in the audience and everyone here again is look around the Borough Hall. We've been cleaning up the second floor to prepare for some storage up there for documents that we're going to, long-term storage. So to get it, we had to go clean up there. There was stuff. Look at Bob, we started cleaning up a little bit, and we're going to keep cleaning and adding and doing things. We found a lot of stuff way back. We found that if you go outside, we found the tax bill from 1933.
No
The
way.
average house paid $79.50.
I have a court order from 1865, right?
Not from Runnemede.
No, from Center Township, in which a guy was fined $4 for not sending his kid to school.
Well, it's only 25 now, Bob, so really.
So look
It's
around.
only $25.
We have a few different sections.
Yeah, so it actually has not kept playing, it was probably more expensive then than it is now.
So we have a green team wall where we put our plaque up with our different plaques. I'm missing one I have to do. We have a wall for veterans. We have a wall for the youth athletics. We have a wall for historic stuff, and then artwork through the town that we've got. And any other suggestions anybody has. I mean, it was basically just me and the Public Works Department cleaning up, getting some stuff. We gave stuff to the police department. A lot of plaques were from the police department, the fire department. We had a lot of different things. We even had some from the Republican Party.
Do you still have the showcase, which was out?
No, the showcase got No, it got moved upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah, do you need it?
No, I was gonna say, you put some of the relics we had in there.
Well, the only way, so here's what we're doing with some of the relics. I got some stuff being framed
Okay.
to get it on the walls. Mrs. Bowers, remember, her father was the mayor, so she gave us something, that's getting framed, the plate. We have some more veteran stuff that we want to, but I want to put like names over top. Remember we talked about that before, and maybe flags and things. We have a little more work to do. The green team, all your accolades, we want to start putting up on the wall and things like that. But any suggestions we have? We did move the race car down into the, where the mailbox is. I finally made the fire department happy that we got it out of the hallway. But any suggestions, let me know. But I was saying, and I gotta say, the Republican Party, we do have a Republican Party, so I put the plaque up, it's right next to the bathroom.
Can you please say just kidding?
Just kidding. No, it is actually there, it's actually there. Okay. All right, let's go to payment of bills. Who'd like to make a motion to pay the monthly bills?
I make a motion to pay the monthly bills.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by Ms. Passier, second by Ms. Kelly. Roll call, please.
Ms. Passian?
Yes.
Ms. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Lobenstein?
Yes.
Mr. Shapiro?
Yes.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
5 ayes, 1 absent.
All right, the bills should be paid. This portion of the meeting is open to the public. Anyone wishing to speak, please come to the microphone, state your name and address. Name and town of origin. Thank you.
Sorry, but I have 4 things to talk about. Number 1, I'd like to know how to proceed. Patty Adair wants to be my assistant. I no longer have one, so how do I go about this?
So we'll put her on the agenda for next week and just appoint her as the, what's her, what do we have? Deputy?
No, I think it was
Vice chair.
Vice chair or something, whatever it was. Rochelle was it, right? Was it Rochelle?
Yes,
Okay, so Patty Adair, can you get that? Oh, Ellen Reese. You can just do the resolution for Ellen and just change it to Patty Adair.
bike racks. One of the actions for Sustainable Jersey is bike racks. Eleanor had, cited several areas where we could use bike racks. Now, with the Women's Club, I've been telling them, I started to tell them, to use our restaurants and our businesses in town, not to leave town, but to help make our businesses successful. And when they go, the younger ones, because we're getting a lot of younger people, I tell them, don't take your cars, leave your cars at home, walk or use your bikes. They accepted that, they were good with that. So we need bike racks.
Well, I agree,
So-
location and pricing is what we need, so we can
Well-
budget it and do it.
Okay, that's it, because I know Harry did say that it costs $12,000 to sink bike racks, so I don't know how we go about this or what.
That's not just something like that.
So I didn't know where the money was going to come from, so I'm just.
So the only thing is location and pricing. And
Okay.
because the only thing I would say is, one of the things we're talking about is other improvements throughout the town. There should be a theme. So if we buy bike racks, it should maybe match our trash cans, match our
That's not
benches,
what design is very.
put everything kind of together.
Did you see the racks over at Haddon Heights by chance on Station Avenue? I think they're like shaped like an H. So take a look and it's
Nice.
really pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
take a picture and we get a price.
And that'll help the police, because when they have to handle hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cars coming for different events, it's harder than if people just come on bikes or walk. Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
So we have Vince Denise is the Boy Scout leader. He joined our green team and the creative team, and all I hear from him, he's giving me a headache about the club, the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. But what are we doing?
Nothing. No, we're working on it. We've been
We
fixing.
are working on it
We put $120,000 into it,
already?
and to fix it up, new
Just in the last year.
knew everything. We had to buy it from them, so give them my phone number,
I
and
will.
I'll talk to them and let them know how hard we've been working to get it done for them.
Okay. And the last thing is someone told me I should be making a report every month about what goes on, I'm not gonna come out.
I think what you can do is you can send us an email. I think an email report, a written report would be very helpful. I think it also helps document. One of the things that I know about the green team and sustainable is everything's about documenting stuff.
Okay.
So when you're sending us a report, if you have pictures from the event, if you have the brochures that you handed out, when you go, because Patty and I have helped fill out, Eleanor, we've all filled out these sustainable applications. You have to have a picture, you have to have the brochure, you have to have sign-in sheets. You know, take the time to put all that together, scan it, email it. Now we have a record, because when we go to upload it for the application, it's all sitting there.
And basically what you're doing is actually in the minutes.
Right.
So,
Your minutes are excellent.
The agenda.
The minutes and agenda are excellent. We just need to now take that and just make it like you said, who was the sign-in sheet? How many people showed up?
right.
Photographs, the brochures, like I said, anything you do for educational for the
Who
kids.
showed up, who was absent?
Yeah.
What time, you know?
And then budgeting wise, once again, everything starts off with, you want to do something, well, what does it cost and where's it going? You know, that's what it comes, like we talked about this pickleball. There's nobody in this room who knows how much the pickleball is going to cost. But we have to start getting a quote from our engineer, and then we can put an application together. Because they're not going to give us money without us telling them what we're going to, what we assume it's going to cost. And then usually, if it's more, we have to promise that we're going to pay the difference.
Are you going to talk about the discussion group, the seminars at
I just have a report that I'm going to, but I will probably in the next one. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am here tonight to provide a short report on the activities of the Runnemede Green Team and its subcommittee, the Creative Team. As you know, the Green Team is working diligently on various actions such as the environmental seminars for our students in the 7th and 8th grades, and also for the community at large. We are also collaborating with the GFWC Women's Club of Runnemede to apply for a grant to purchase trees for the borough, and we've established the Green Team. These actions are just a few endeavors by the Green Team to reach silver status for the borough through Sustainable Jersey. We recently held the first meeting of the Creative Team and appointed leadership roles. J. Keith Drevitt, he's the young man at the library.
Okay.
Keith was designated as chairman, Ken Virtue as vice chairman, and Patty Deere as secretary. Ken Lee assumed the position of chairman of the Community Outreach Subcommittee. After much discussion, it has been decided that the primary focus of the Creative Team is to improve communication between residents, community groups, and the borough. We have a terrible time of communication. People don't know what's going on. The library said that people are going to the library to find out what's going on, and they said, we don't even know. But that's where they're going, because they can't get anything from our website. Everything's a hodgepodge.
How's the Green Team's website?
We don't have a website.
Yes, you do, because we paid for it. So you need to get it up
Well-
and working.
This is what happened. We had.
I don't need to hear it. I know that we had a grant and it was paid and we got to get it. So whatever we got to do, we got to get the Green Team website working.
She wanted almost $700-800
Who? She.
Rochelle,
For what?
for the
Access?
access.
But she was already paid for it.
I told her, I had a big fight with her. I said, you were paid as an assistant. You got $2,000 for setting up. I said, now you want, and we have no money? She said, well, I've been paying for it, and I'm not turning it over unless you put the money. I said, we don't have the money. She said, no. I said, well, then stay.
See, the only problem with that is it's borough's money. So if that's her response, she's going to have a problem with me.
Okay.
With this.
Okay.
So I need to know what's going on, because the attorney's sitting right there, we're going to send her a letter.
Okay.
We want access to our website. So shoot me an email.
I love it.
We want access, because the things that you're talking about, I do take a little offense to say that the borough's website. I just found out that all the maps for all the sewers are on the website. This meeting's on the website. So if the town, people's choice to be ignorant is their choice to be ignorant.
All right.
I think I explained everything in detail at these meetings. And our website is, maybe could be better, but the Green Team, which you're in charge of, was granted the money. The money was, we promised this money. We authorized the payment. And she didn't get it done. I have a problem with that.
She was hijacking us. I told her, I said, we do not have the money.
Then you need to come to us, and we will go after her.
Okay, I will. I'm going to send you an email on that right away. Okay, so discussion, it has been decided that the primary focus of the creative team is to improve communication between residents, community groups, and the borough. The creative team identified the opportunity to involve residents in planning Runnemede's centennial celebration to instill enthusiasm. Ideas discussed included organizing a community engagement workshop, inviting a motivational speaker, and collaborating with local schools to create a commemorative logo. So if the children are all working on a logo, their parents are going to get involved, and everybody's going to start getting all excited about this centennial. We'll have workshops, we'll have all kind of stuff, trying to get everything else. So we'll have a really, really beautiful, beautiful event.
Let me stop you again. You got to be careful. The borough is in charge of the 100th year anniversary.
Yes.
You talk about communicating. You guys are going to make a committee. We are going to make the committee for the 100-year
So can we
anniversary.
work with you?
You can. So communicate with us. I know you wanted to be involved in it, and I think it's a great idea to get the children and the community involved. But council is going to appoint a committee. Council has the money. Council has the authority to do all this stuff. The ideas can obviously come, I think we want to reach out to everybody. I think the children, and that's a great idea. But it has to start here.
Okay.
So your communication goes two ways. We've had very brief conversations about this 100-year anniversary. And the number one thing council will do is appoint a committee to do that. But council will appoint the committee.
So I will tell them at our next meeting
Yes.
that they have to wait till council.
You can start coming up with ideas. I think your ideas are great. I think all that is great. Figure out all the different, of course we need ideas about the 100-year. I know we talked briefly about some of this stuff. But the borough, myself and the council members are going to put this together, appoint the committee, appoint the budget, determine the activities we're going to do, sanction all the activities we're going to do.
Okay, so please have the creative team as part of your committee.
Absolutely, they can be part of it. I think we need a good showing of the whole community.
Yes.
I mean,
Because there's
we need
a lot of
representation from the schools, from
Yes.
everywhere.
Okay, wonderful. And then the subcommittee will draft recommendations based on successful approaches from other towns. So we're looking into what other towns did. So we're going to, a letter addressed to the mayor and council will be drafted to communicate the team's objectives. We look forward to a successful, very productive relationship. So I'm going to tell them, come up with 100 ideas.
I think
if
that
you
the
want.
green team and the creative team can come up with ideas,
Yeah.
but the implementation's all going to be done by borough.
Right on.
So writing it all down and starting putting ideas together about all the different stuff, I agree. All you have to do is look at other towns.
Yeah.
Your seal idea is a great idea.
Yeah.
Come up with the seal, what it should look like, because I've seen that on other towns.
We may
You know,
even do a logo on,
A logo's a great idea.
On a building or something, we'll say.
Well,
All that
you'll
stuff has
suggest
to
it,
come-
and then we'll put it on our building.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Yeah. You put it on our building without our permission, it's called vandalism.
Graffiti.
All
Thank
right,
you.
graffiti.
Okay.
Come on up, Bob.
Mayor, Council, good evening, how are you? Do I identify myself?
We
For
are.
the record.
Robert Del Soro, minor taxpayer, Borough.
No such thing as a minor taxpayer.
Okay. Can I pass these
Sure.
out?
Mark, you want to give it to Mark? He'll-
Kind of pass these around. What happened, as you know, we're planning a plaque for Memorial Day, and I have to give you a history lesson, because we may run into a problem. Remember, Vietnam is a war that we lost, okay? So you got to keep that in mind. And Saigon is not there anymore. What occurred was in 1955, we began sending military advisors into the Republic of South Vietnam at the request of the president. Interesting enough, as a sideline, Ho Chi Minh, who was the president of North Vietnam, asked for support, we turned him down. You know, he was educated at Harvard University. He expected the United States to jump on in. We turned him down, so we took the lesser of two, we took South Vietnam. We didn't put any combat forces in there until about 1965, okay? So for about 10 years, we were sending advisors, logistic material, In 1965, we began to up ramp, and that continued from 1965 until January of 1973. The big time was the Tet offensive, which occurred in 1968. That was the offensive.
Bob, didn't that changed the public opinion of everything, right? When
Well,
it got broken?
it wasn't popular to start with. I mean, you have to have some age behind it to understand it.
Yeah.
What happened was, it was not a popular conflict because we weren't attacked. It's not like what we had in
Gotcha.
9/11. It wasn't Pearl Harbor. And there was objections, and all people, you know, who sell it, or, you know, the giraffe food in South Jersey.
Right.
Wow, okay? But there was burning of the giraffe. Quite matter of fact, there was even an FBI, the FBI was in the post office, they were getting ready to break into Kennedy's post office to burn and it kind of not killed, it was probably the oil, the crowd that was there. So what happened was, in 1973, they reached the peace accords, Paris Peace Accords, and that stopped the combat within 60 days after January of 1973. Keep in mind that that becomes around March of 1973. In March of 1973, they opened up the Hanoi Hilton and took the prisoners out. I had the privilege of picking up John Germisi, who you may not know who John was, but John shared a cell with the Admiral and McCain and the other fellow, ran the Vice President with Ross Perot. Give me a name. Okay. He was but anyhow.
Remember he came and he said, I don't know why I'm here?
Yeah, that's guy, yeah. Well, what happened was, I was always very friendly with the Germisi family. They're from Gloucester Township. So when John came back, and nobody knew him, and at the time I had police radio in the car, so we were able, I picked him up, and that way we could announce when we were coming in, he gave him a break.
Where did he live?
Lived in Gloucester Township, was what happened. What happened was he came back to Gloucester Township, but we drove him to Triton High School. We had a parade for him at Triton High School because a lot of people wanted to be there. We figured it's a good place to do it. And then John left there. What he did, he wanted to become the commander of the Plattsburgh Air Force Base, and that would have given him a star. They had, when he was captured, he was a major, and he was elevated to a bird colonel during the course of the 6 years he was in Hanoi Hilton. So he came out as a bird colonel. Now, he was ready for a star, okay? And a star would then give him the right to run Plattsburgh's Air Force Base in Plattsburgh, New York. They passed over him, okay? And he's very upset about that, understandably. So what happened? He quit the Air Force at that time, and he actually got married to a girl from Pigstown. They opened up a farm up there. And then from there, he moved to Pittsburgh, outside of Pittsburgh. He died in 2017 outside of Pittsburgh. But I mean, I'm familiar with what's going on, but I wanted to make sure I was historically accurate. So what I did then is I got in touch with the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. There's a young lady by the name of Amy Osborne, who may not mean that she was Miss New Jersey. And Amy's the vice chair of the Selective Service Board, on the chair. So I met with her, and I met with the commander of the memorial itself, who was a retired general. And we discussed, when did the war end?
Was that what you're getting? Because I was wondering, you don't have any dates on it.
I have no date. That's exactly right. That's what I'm getting.
If this is the plaque, there's some stuff missing.
That's what I'm getting. That's exactly why I left it out.
Okay.
But
you're not asking us our opinion, because I don't think we're going to be able to tell.
No. I'm asking you how you feel toward this, because I'm going to give you the dates, and we have to figure out what we want to do about this thing. The fighting stopped 60 days after January of 1973. However, there were skirmishes that continued, and even to the point in 1974, there were still 50 Marines that were kept in South Vietnam to protect the embassy. It wasn't until 1975 that the Marines left. Do you remember when the planes left from Vietnam? You remember seeing those pictures?
But Bob, we can't be the first people to put a plaque up for the Vietnam.
Well, no.
So what's the general consensus, though?
The general consensus, if you talk to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, is that the war ended in 1973.
Okay. Even though there was continuing...
Even though there was continual action.
Because that was the official...
But understand that there's a lot of Vietnam veterans who are still alive at this time. And, you know...
Take offense to that?
No, we have to be very careful, because, you know, you're going to have a situation in which we say it ended in 1973, and all of a sudden you're going to get extended. What the hell are you talking about? My kid was over there in 1974. So I have adequate foundation is say that we could say that the ceasefire occurred in 1973, and we're commemorating that.
Okay, say ceasefire.
A ceasefire.
Okay, so use that language.
Yeah, we can use the ceasefire.
Use
We
that
can use
That doesn't offend anybody.
No, but I'm just saying that.
I think it'd be a little presumptive for us to say the extra time
Well,
because,
frankly, I just want to use 1975 because that's when Saigon fell. That's basically when we lost. So at least we can have some honor to say, all right, fine, we stopped the fighting in 1973, okay?
all right, so you're going to come up with a title up here,
Now I'm going to come up with.
and you're going to say ceasefire.
Well, yeah,
Something to that.
Paris Accords.
Can't you,
Okay.
doesn't the Vietnam Memorial in DC, don't they have a definite?
Well, it's, nobody will ever come, because we never declared war.
So then, why don't we just go in 1973?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, we never declared
But
war,
with
so
a
we never
little
declared war,
line
we
there.
can't end the war. That's
That's what he's asking.
It's just like we did with Korea, it was a ceasefire in Korea in 1953.
What do we do on the plaque with there? Did we say something similar?
I think we said terminate in 1953, like I said. So
I have-
I wanted to make sure that we had the understanding. You can't call it a war because it wasn't declared war, okay?
Well, if anybody else knows, we're going to say Bob.
There were some that
We're not going to say that. We're going to say mayor and council.
The mayor and council approved the
Yeah,
plaque.
exactly.
See that? He's doing that.
So, well, the reason I said that, this is the general wording that I want to use. I may refine it by
Yeah, I
a word,
think it needs,
by a word or two in there, but I just wanted to explain to you what we were running into.
What does Sammy say now?
Sammy was a veteran. Sam, I don't think we have a problem. I mean, I'm more concerned with Vietnam veterans, you know. And Sam was a Vietnam veteran. But what I'd like to do, I have to get the wording here because as of March 1st, the price went up those blacks. If you remember.
Bob Del Sordo was an expert here.
Yeah, well,
Not
okay.
us.
Well, I think we've already encumbered the funds for this. We've talked about this
Yeah.
already. He
Yeah.
gave us a price.
That's right. It's
You
what we
know,
purchased.
we understand this is the last plaque going on the new
Yeah,
monument.
that's it. That's it.
And, yeah, I was looking for, but I mean, I think what you did on the other ones looks great.
Okay, well, basically,
I think it'd be similar.
I'm going to follow it. I might change the logo at the top a little bit.
Okay.
You know, or
But
something.
they're gonna look similar, because they all
Yeah,
look,
they're all made by the same company.
Yeah.
They're all made by the same company. But what I'd like to do, what I do need is, since we have a new member of council, I want the exact names that are going to go on the mayor and council.
okay, so you want to decide Dan, Daniel, whatever you want to put on there.
And Murray, you know.
Yeah.
But, so I'm going to ask our new borough clerk if she'd be kind enough.
To put it on there.
Still with that big, okay. I shot the shot. I shot
Oh,
the
easy.
I didn't shoot the sheriff.
No, but I agree, the language, you're right, you gotta have all that done.
Yeah, but I want
We've always
to.
checked it, right? Everyone's always had that.
Yeah, I want to make sure it's accurate to what she wants, so that way I'll just pin it on attach it onto the wording that I have.
Okay.
But, so I can get that moving, I have to get it in as rapidly as possible. I just wanted your confirmation.
Yeah, I would keep it simple.
Ceasefire.
Yeah.
Get in the
I'm going to
weeds.
say the termination of action.
I don't think that'll offend any of the guys.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like,
families.
we can follow the fact that the Paris Peace Accords occurred in 1973, and then the idea in January 73 that it was supposed to end 60 days after that.
I mean, I don't know if you want to add a line in there that said the continuing, I mean, I don't know if that gets too much.
You got to be very careful about this. First of all, it wasn't a popular situation, and, you know, and I don't know how
But
many...
we're talking about it now.
Well, yeah, but...
Now, we're talking about, this plaque is for the people here today.
Nick, it's been 50 years since somebody said thanks for what they did. You know? Okay.
I understand.
That's what I'm saying. It's 50 years, you know. And, you know, I don't expect that. I wasn't the world's greatest soldier. I did what I was supposed to do. You know, that was it. But, you know, it was very unconsoling when I saw guys coming back, particularly guys in the military, guys that didn't make it, and you know, they were spinning one. I mean, you
Well,
know,
that's why this is supposed to kind of, I would say, not bring a closure, but it helps.
yeah,
That's why I said your wording does matter.
Yeah,
Makes
it
a
does,
difference.
it does matter. So I wanted to make sure that we were generic in the idea of appreciation, but it wasn't real popular in that respect. So,
Remember, we're thinking about the people today, so we, you know,
okay, so
if you
let's,
wanna- if you want to say something more, I don't think there's anything wrong. But I agree, ceasefire, but if you want to add another line.
yeah, I'll pull the Paris Peace Accords. I'll say,
Okay.
you know, after after many years of military advisement or something, that Paris Peace Accords terminated this in January of 1973.
That sounds good.
Yeah, okay.
We'll
So,
do it on Memorial Day, we'll get the tent back up there.
Yeah.
I want us though to coordinate with the VFW this time. We
Yeah, make sure.
Rub it in.
I will.
We gotta make sure
Sammy was
we're
out.
first, they show up, and then we go together.
Sammy was out of the loop.
Yeah, we gotta get them back in the loop, so that we, even if we gotta move our thing up a half an hour or whatever, to work with him.
All right, so I'll.
Especially since it's in Vietnam, which is most of the guys that are still there.
That's it, that's exactly right. No, it's one thing, a lot of World War II vets, they weren't there, but you get a lot of Vietnam vets who are still alive, and this is their war.
And they need to know that we're doing this.
Yeah. So, but I can't call it a war, so I mean, I'm gonna just put the word Vietnam on top of it and indicate what we
Are you
did.
gonna send him the names?
Yeah, she'll send it.
Yeah.
Just make it exactly what.
Well, Dan just has to decide, because we have the other tracks.
We have the
I think
other-
your name's
the other
on something
track.
else, right? So
Yeah, Richard-
we the same name.
Somebody send you a picture of it, it's gonna be the same way, and then
All right,
you just
Bob.
have to.
All right, so
Yeah, let's make sure we get it ordered so we're on time.
Yeah, so I don't want to say too much.
Johnson.
I appreciate it. Yeah, the funds are encumbered, don't yell at me.
Okay, I appreciate it. It's the last war.
Yeah, no more wars.
No more war.
Thanks, Bob.
If you guys need anything.
Well, we'll answer.
I'm just saying.
I appreciate it.
I mean, if something.
Well, you know what, maybe like we said, we can make this event a little bit, like I said, tie in and Sandy, make it a little bit more this year.
Okay, well,
Especially since there's a lot of guys, maybe we can do something a little bit to the next level.
I'd frankly like that, I really had it.
Okay. Well, let's talk to Sammy, because I don't want to,
Get Mission Bar,
because he's always done something, but let's make sure we work together. Talk to him, you're a friend.
no, she does make the Mission barbecue.
That'd be nice, that'd be wonderful.
Because we use them on the battleship. Go back here.
But he's gonna probably want to go back to the VFW, so maybe we do it there. Yeah.
He always does it.
I'll give you guys.
Yeah, that's happening, right?
I'll give you off the record heads up. We were supposed to move the battleship February 9th. Okay, unfortunately, the ship that's in that particular dry dock, and it's not completed. So what happens, they now moved us off to March, and it's supposed to be the first week of March. And as soon as I get it
Why is
done.
it being moved?
What's that?
The spot they're going is still occupied, and to wait for that ship to leave.
Interesting enough, the Navy found the keel blocks, and the location is, when they built the New Jersey, they found the map to just where you put the keel blocks, so you don't have to, they have to move it twice. They have it all on the, it was still, they still have the records inside the Navy. Early March? Yeah, not here tomorrow. When you dry dock, something, you have to keep it from flow, so you put keel blocks, basically little chocks in it, like it would a wheel that goes in the yard. And they had the location, like each one of them was in there. But, we took the mast down, okay, because it's gotta go under the wall of the bridge. Yeah, it's,
Well, that'll be a day
Where
for
are we moving
pictures.
it to?
was that?
Where are we
We're moving
moving?
it down to the old Philadelphia Navy Yard, now Philadelphia Navy Shipping Pier. And there's only one dry dock they can accommodate, so when they built it. So we took the mast down, and now the trick is, we've got to pull her out at high tide, because if you put her at low tide, the props will get caught in the mud. Okay, so now it's got to come up it goes up to dead high tide. It then has to go to an anchorage out in the land, and in the Delaware, which we have to pay for the anchorage by the hour. Okay, somebody, the Coast Guard gets involved. And then it has to stay till dead low tide, because we want to take her under the roll of the bridge at dead low tide. They're going to stop the traffic on the bridge in the event something happens, because if you get choppy water, we have 10 feet of clearance. We have 10 feet of clearance. So, you know, if you get a tsunami, you won't have the wall. So they're going to, and then what happens, we have to take it, this is a dead low tide, right? We have to then take it down to another anchorage and wait for dead high tide, because when you dry dock, you have to dry dock at dead high tide, because you have to have the water and then drop it down.
Well, 24 hours.
The total cost is $10 million. I already signed a check the other day for $5 million. Ever signed a check for $5 million?
So why?
I never did. You surprised how neat you can be with $5 million.
You want maintenance, because it's been sitting in the water. Yeah, they're bringing it back. As soon as it's done.
Yeah, they're going to change it, and they have this little zinc anode at the bottom. I'm getting water about it.
Keeps it from,
Well, the water,
rusting.
well, they have to put 45,000 tons of water into the valve in order to bring her up. Because right now she sits this way, okay? You gotta bring her up level, because it has to be nose heavy, valve heavy, to get the props out. and then they gotta kick that water out again. And they have these things on the side, they look like bilges, they look like fire hydrant standpipes, is the best way I can explain it to you. And there's 100 and some of them on there. And what they have to do is they have to see if they're corroded. Now, the ones at Texas were corroded because they were salt water, but she's been in fresh water for the last 30 years. We don't want to get it all over.
So how long do you think that's going to take?
They're estimating 60 days. If the plan is to have it in March and to have it back ready for occupancy in May the 23rd.
Oh, so Memorial Day.
You know, well, it's actually the commissioning date. It's the commissioning date for the ship.
That's great.
May the 23rd, that's the target.
It's like $10 million spent. All right, Bob.
Thank you.
Appreciate the update.
I'll give you, but I say.
But send us that final, we'll get you the names, get us the final, and then we'll get it ordered.
Okay, I'll get it, no problem. You got it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Stockdale, these guys.
Stop it.
So far, so good. We're walking slow. Don't run into anything.
Thanks. Okay, no problem. Thank you again.
Anyone else? Okay.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Very interesting.
Hey everyone, so the Runnemede Chamber of Commerce has a date for our pipe jam, and it is May 10th. So if you would like to partner with us, we are partnering with Kyle Hansen, he's the mayor of Barrington, who's been helping us to partner. And we expect it to be like.
So you're not using a third party?
Well, Kyle is going to help us to.
So Friday?
Here.
Not the cost that you ran into before?
Exactly.
Well, I think, once again, give us a list of what you need, you know, police, public works, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Definitely the 10th.
I think the building can be blocked off, that's not a problem, but we just gotta, you know, some of the issues with bathrooms, some of the issues with trash, we just gotta do a better job.
Yep, we talk to them, we're gonna get porta potties and all that
Nice.
stuff. Okay.
So you're saving a ton of money, you think, and that's gonna make a big difference.
Yeah.
So Kyle has a lot of experience.
He's got some experience, he's great events, so you have a council, you're looking for, and so, yeah. Pretty good.
Well, line those trucks up right away, because I think that's the big issue. And then that media part, where he grabbed all those people, you need that list of people.
Yeah.
He was able to get, that was one of the things you paid for, was his list.
So when we got that, did you want to say?
No, go ahead.
So when we
No.
got a list, mostly one.
Really? So the representation was our municipality? Because we talked about that, where were the people coming from?
A lot of them are Runnemede people who brought friends, family.
Really?
They were talking about getting 70% of the people from outside of the.
And that was the opposite?
It's actually the opposite.
It was the opposite.
That never happened.
Well, that's
So
great.
well attended by Runnemede people.
Well, that's great then, because that's what we were concerned about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like 49% Runnemede, but then the rest was like family and
Oh,
friends
okay.
of people from Runnemede.
Okay.
So it was really awesome. So, yeah, okay?
Well, I know that was the difficulty, was the finance side, so.
Yeah.
That's my.
I think it's great, I mean, I think it really, all this stuff helps put us on the map.
Yeah, absolutely. Bring more attention on us.
Pickleball,
That's
high jump, just two things with a P.
May 10th is my 70th.
Well, there you go, we'll have it in the.
Yeah, really, that's your birthday? May 10th? Ah.
There you go.
Drinks on track.
Drinks on.
And I don't know where my wallet is.
Well, the good news is, with college, we're gonna make sure less of the pops, we're gonna have like Budweiser and like regular beer, so it's not gonna be all that. It'll have some craft, every group's gonna have more things to be like to run.
What do you guys think? I think, you know, it's been a learning experience, and I think it's been great.
That's a learning
Yeah, we learned a lot about marketing, so we will ask for a banner again, and we'll market better, and we'll have some competitions and things like that to get people interested, but, yeah, it's exciting.
Right on.
Thank you.
Do beer pong?
The mayor will head that off.
So we can oversee that.
Sounds great.
All right, good.
All right, thanks, Kathy.
Thanks, Ken.
And thanks all for everything you do with these ribbon cuttings and the people. I got some great comments
Oh, good.
from all, you know, my cousin who lives on Mount Laurel saw it, you know, the last one we were just at. So all this stuff's been good, and I know you said that cannabis really went well, and how impressed it was. So he did call me, I did apologize, and I'm gonna go look at it one of these days. So, that's great. Okay, anyone else? I'm seeing no one else. Would someone like to make a motion to close the
I'll
public
make a
portion?
motion to close the public portion.
Motion by Ms. Pasco, second by Ms. Valentine, all in favor? Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion. I'll second it.
Motion by Ms. Valentine, second by Ms. Pasco, all in favor?
Aye.
We adjourn at 8:03.